Hi, I'm just Miss Chokri and welcome to my channel. So in this video I will be sharing with you some of the books that I recently bought to make my life easier. You cannot see, but my table is full of books. I've just made my life easier by splitting these into different sections. I've got a pile of Japanese translated fiction, I've got a pile for Korean translated fiction, I've got a pile of books which are fiction which are written by South Asian authors, and something new this year will be non-fiction. So I've got a pile of non-fiction books that I'd like to read this year. Non-fiction is something that I don't normally read, but I thought this year let's shake things up a bit. So yeah, I've got a pile for that, and I will be talking about Keigo Higashino as well. And to wrap up the video at the end, I will be mentioning which book I'm currently reading. So let's start with Japanese translated fiction. So this is what I currently have for Japanese translated fiction. It's about 6 books, I guess. I know some more are probably on the way, but of course I'll update as and when. So the first book on, this is in no particular order whatsoever, is She and Her Cat. Now I actually own the manga version for this, which I need to read at some point. And I will this year. So yeah, excited to read this one, because I know I've heard a lot of people saying the manga version wasn't as great as the book. So yeah, I have a feeling I'll probably enjoy this more than the manga. Next we have, I don't know if you can see that, I'm just sitting in front of the window and it's really bright. Anyway, this is Asleep by Banana Yoshimoto. I've not read any of her books before, so really intrigued to read this one. I know there are other books that are on my wish list, Kitchen being one of them, and I think NP and Amrita is another one that I will be possibly buying sometime this year. But yeah, excited to read this one. Next we have the Nakano thrift shop. I've actually read Strange Weather in Tokyo. I read that last year by the same author. Not gonna lie, didn't really enjoy it as much as I thought I would, but I'm just going with reviews online, and this one has had better reviews than Strange Weather in Tokyo. So yeah, excited to read this one, and I hope it's better than Strange Weather in Tokyo. Next we have Before the Coffee Gets Cold. Now this is a very popular book in terms of Japanese translated fiction. At first I didn't realise, but there is foiling on, I don't know if you can see this, there is foiling, and it's really, it's really beautiful when it catches the light. Anyway, back to this book. Yeah, really excited to read this one. The concept is really interesting. It's about a cafe which deals with time travel. Next we have The Tattoo Murder. Now I'm not too sure what to even think of this, because yeah, to be honest, some of these books I've not really read the synopsis, because I just want to go in blind just to see where I go with it in terms of making my own mind up. So yeah, but this one is crime thriller, I want to say. Yeah, excited to read this. It's a genre that I don't normally pick up. I wouldn't be attracted to that kind of genre, but I thought, you know what, let's give it a shot, because recently you've been reading Keigo Higashino and I've enjoyed that genre, so I thought, you know what, let's give it a go. Last but not least, Three Assassins by Kotaro Isaka. Again, not really read the synopsis. Yeah, this is a massive book. Haven't really read the synopsis to Three Assassins, but I last year read The Plotters, which is Korean translated fiction. Kim Eun-soo, I believe, is the author of that. Really enjoyed it. That was my first ever book that I read of, which is of that genre, because normally I don't really go for crime thriller. You know, I stay away from those genres, but I was pleasantly surprised at how much I enjoyed it. So yeah, I hope I enjoy this one as well. Up next is the Korean translated fiction books. Now this is what's on my pile. There's about 6 books. First we have Shoko's Smile. Not entirely too sure what this book is about, but I think it has, let me check. It has about, I think, 7 short stories. I'm not too sure if all the stories are interlinked, but yeah, nonetheless, excited to read it. Next is The White Book. Now, a lot of people have actually gone out to say that this book is quite poetic. I have read the synopsis, but it's quite vague, so not too sure what to make of it, but I got it purely because I was curious. Next is Kim Jiyoung, born 1982. Now this book has been on my radar for a very, very long time, and I thought high time to pick it up. So I did. This one is also adapted into a Korean movie. I know Gong Yoo is in it. I like a bit of Gong Yoo, so haven't seen the movie yet, but I will get round to it as and when I finish this book. Now this book is filled with misogyny, and a lot of people are saying it's quite heartbreaking. It's basically about a woman who is meant to do what society expects her to do. She has to kind of sacrifice her life, like she has to sacrifice what she wants to do in life in terms of having a family and just kind of living her life, but she's not really living her life because what she wanted to do she really can't, and it raises quite a few questions in terms of who is she, what is she meant to be doing. It's heartbreaking, but yeah, excited to read. Up next we have Launch Something and Tower. Now these are both by the same author. I absolutely love the covers to this, even the backs. They're just really, really nice. I know these are packed full of short stories. I'm not too sure if they're interlinked. But yeah, really excited to read them. I haven't really gone into the synopsis. I thought, you know what, let's just leave some of it to imagination, and when it gets here I can kill my curiosity. Last in this pile we have The Old Woman with the Knife. Now this one seemed really, really interesting. I actually really did enjoy the synopsis, so just gonna quickly read the synopsis for you because it is quite interesting. So Hornclaw is a 65-year-old female contract killer who is considering retirement. A fighter who has experienced loss and grief early on in life, she lives in a state of self-imposed isolation, with just her dog dead weight for company. Whilst on an assassination job for the disease control company she works for, Hornclaw makes an error, causing a sequence of events that bring her past well and truly into the present. Threatened with sabotage by a young male upstart and battling new desires and urges when she least expects them, Hornclaw steels her resolve, demonstrating that no matter the age, the female of species is always more deadly than the male. Now, when I read that, I thought, yeah, you know what? I need to have that book. Right, up next is the pile for fiction written by South Asian authors. Now this is the pile, only has 4 books, but I'm pretty sure I will be buying more because there's a load of other books by South Asian authors that's actually on my list, so I will be getting them at some point this year, and of course I will update as and when. First up we have The God of Small Things by Arundhati Roy. Now this one has been on my radar for such a long time. It's about twins who are settled in Kerala, and one day their cousin comes over and something happens and their lives turn upside down, something like that, so I've heard. Up next we have We Are All Birds of Uganda. Now this one I'm really excited to read because I did read Nima Shah's Kalolo Hill, I think back in 2021 I want to say, and that one was my 5-star rated books. I absolutely loved it, and I thought, you know what, let me look for more books on a similar concept. I found this one, and there is another one which is called Expelled from Uganda. Now that is another book that I want to get my hands on. It's on my list, so yeah, excited to read this one. Next, this is so fitting for me. I absolutely cannot wait to read this book. It is my so-called Bollywood life. Now, if you know me, then you know I really like Bollywood. I really enjoy Bollywood. It's so fitting with my line of work as well. So I had to. I could not get this book, and I thought, you know what, let's get it. And there is someone else who I saw on my Insta who read this, and they rated it quite high, and I thought, you know what, let me check it out. So yeah, excited to read this. It's got loads of references to Bollywood, which obviously I will understand, and yeah, like I said, I really enjoy Bollywood, so excited to read this one as well. I think most of these I'm going to say that that I'm excited to read because of course they've been on my radar for a very long time, and there is a reason why I want to pick them up. Anyway, last on the list is This Book Kills. Now this has been compared to Holly Jackson's A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Now that's another series that I really want to check out. I'll probably pick it up at sometime this year for sure, so as and when I'll let you know. Anyway, This Book Kills, the plot was really intriguing. There's a girl who's in school. She writes a story about the perfect crime, and now someone's read that and they are kind of carrying out that crime, and yeah, she's next on the list, so it's quite interested, and I'm really intrigued. Up next is my non-fiction pile that I have. So this is what the pile looks like. I've got, most of them are poems. So I'm part of this Discord group, and there's this lovely person called well, they're all lovely, but there's this person called Daisy on there. If you're watching, thank you. So she introduced me to Nikita Gill, and she shared a few poems with me that were written by her, and I thought, you know what, I need to get them. She did ask if I do read non-fiction, and it was a hard pass. I said no, I'm not really interested. Yeah, I can't talk. I'm really not interested in non-fiction. So as soon as I read the poems, I just knew I had to get them. So let's get started. So first up we have Great Goddesses by Nikita Gill. With all Nikita Gill's poems, well, all of her books, I'm not entirely too sure what they're about. I've just kind of got them because it's something different. It will definitely shake up my reading pattern for sure, and that's what I'm hoping to do this year. Instead of sticking to just fiction, I thought, let's just break it up. Let's just do something completely different. So yeah, I picked up Great Goddesses by her. I also picked up The Girl and the Goddess. I love the covers. I love the covers to these hardbacks. They're absolutely beautiful. So yeah, this one's really, really pretty. Also have Fierce Fairytales by her as well. Also by her, These Are the Words. And we have Wild Embers as well. I recently picked this up. It's been a couple of weeks since I've actually got these, so not too sure when I will be reading them, but I'm sure if I fancy something light, something quick, I will definitely be delving into these. And there are two other more books by her that I want to get, which I probably will in the coming weeks. Last on the pile we have I Want to Die, But I Want to Eat Tteokbokki. Now this is a Korean translated book. It's basically a conversation with the person and her psychiatrist, and it's just yeah, basically their conversation. A lot of people have said it's boring. A lot of people have said, you know, they've connected with it. Not recently, it's been a while, there's a Korean group, boy band called BTS, and RM is a member. He reads a lot of books, and ever since you know, he's read this book, this has gone viral. A lot of people have been chatting about it, and I thought, you know what, let me check it out. I need to check it out. So with that, yeah, that pretty much ends the anticipated reads for this year and my recent buys. Now it's time to move over to talk about Keigo Higashino.